Have you been wondering if a residence can be so big that it purportedly has its own zip code? Then you will have your imagination quenched. Today, we take a look at the home of one of the most celebrated musicians and actors in Hollywood, Will Smith. We will collectively look at the Calabasas compound, the astonishing walls holding up this structure, and the jaw-dropping wonders held behind these walls. In addition to all of these, we will also take a quick look at the car collection Will has accumulated all throughout the years. Let's dive in! The Calabasas home that Smith and his family spend most of their non-working periods in is, in fact, an extremely stunning structure located in Calabasas, California. This home is not a new one to the Smith family, since it is the same house Will and Jaden raised their 2 kids and Will's other son. Personally, spending time in such a mansion can make anyone achieve their dreams from a little age, just as Jaden and Willow have done. There is no doubt that Calabasas home is a dream home for every mega-rich American person. Something exciting about this neighborhood is that Smith hasn't been the only celebrity to be seen here. Years back, there have also been the likes of Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, and so many others. Staying in this area of California is believed to be for the very rich and really famous guys. It is no surprise that Will Smith and his family can afford a house in such a celebrated area when Will has over $350 million chilling in his bank account. Jada, Will's wife, also has a net worth of over $50 million. That is about $400 million collectively. This amount is without the mind-blowing net worth Jaden and Willow have accumulated on their own. With an amount very close to $500 million, there is no doubt that the couple has a lot of cash to splash on their dream home. Will Smith's Calabasas project kicked off in 2003 after architect Stephen Samuelson was done with a house design I would personally term an extreme luxury. Samuelson must have had a rather large canvas to work with since the Calabasas property has almost 150 acres of land inside the Santa Monica Mountains. This property is conveniently 3 times bigger than the size of the Grand Central Station in New York. The structure that homes the Smiths is about 25,000 square feet in size. This is about 2 times the size of Fort Knox. A tour of this property will reveal the main idea behind Smith's desire for this home. Apparently, the Smiths had wanted a home situated in the midst of a homemade environment. There's another incredible part of this building that would leave you wondering if you had ever thought along those lines when you see a house. The Smiths' house makes use of different interpretations of Adobe. And no, we are not talking about the Adobe software company you are familiar with, but the sort of building material. The design effectively used Adobe from places like Spain, Morocco, Persia, and Southwestern America to give the output we all look on to now as the Smiths' home. This property flaunts about 9 bedrooms and also has a circular floor plan. In an interview, Will revealed that the infinite cycle represented the love between his wife and himself. Seems Will is not always acting whenever he's romantic in the movies. He is also a hopeless romantic in real life. There is also a fun fact to this entire thing though. Did you know that Smith met Samuelson through Gene Hackman on the 1999 set of Wild West? Calabasas was not only lovingly created by Samuelson, but it also had its landscape incredibly designed by a landscape designer, Daniel Dusbin. This landscape designer was immensely involved with the creation of the beautiful gardens and the lake. The interior of the manor was designed by Judith Lance. She managed to do an incredible job in the property after she declared right from the beginning of her contract that she aimed to make everything in the house look handcrafted, refined, and sophisticated. A tour of the interior, and you would agree that the interior takes a great level of inspiration from the Mediterranean and African outlooks. And, in order to give Will's home a stunning touch, the front door is said to be part of history, since it was recovered from a fort base in North India and conveyed in a boat to California. The plans to get the Calabasas compound functional may have started way back in the 90s, but it wasn't until 2010 that the compound was fully completed. You would agree that the house of these priceless parts doesn't come cheap. 4 years after the completion of the compound, the Smiths briefly placed the property on making. They were asking for over $40 million for the property. This is to give you a clue on how much this property is worth. This property's design is so unique and awesome that it is used most time as a fundraising location. Back in 2012, the Smiths, together with some other famous names, had an event on the property with the sole aim of raising funds for the then United States President Barack Obama's re-election campaign. And that wasn't all there was to this exquisite event. Rumors even had it back then that the tickets to the fundraising weren't cheap. The flat rate for each ticket was about $2,500. Sure, there were other kinds of incentives tossed into the package, since the ticket price was later raised just for guests to have their photo taken with the First Lady Michelle Obama. Isn't that just something you would want to throw your $2,500 into? No doubt, this is a way to get your money spent. So, here was the deal. Since the First Lady was going to be in attendance, the price of the ticket shot up to $10,000. Oh, and there's much more. The ticket's cost was further raised to a whopping $40,000. And this was because the guest may probably get to meet and greet the First Lady too. Yup, you heard me. It was no longer a $10,000 ticket, but a $40,000 ticket. By the way, I can think of a lot of ways to spend that amount of money, but these big names obviously wanted to meet and greet the First Lady with that amount. Not that I wouldn't want to meet her, but with $40,000, I may just have to lie back on bed and dream of meeting the First Lady. Although the event was reported to have raised over $2 million, this success can be seen in how luxurious the Calabasas property is. There are said to be some really special characteristics that raised its value. For instance, there is a personal recording studio embedded within the property. There is no doubt that this particular room would be very useful to all the Smiths, since each one at one time had something to do with music. It is on report that this personal studio was used during Willow's 2010 song, Whip My Hair. One thing is for sure, if you are so inspired to have a personal non-commercial studio, the cost of setting up such a space would cost between a few $100,000 up to $50,000. In contrast, a professional studio like the Smiths can cost millions. Another amazing feature is the home theater on the ground. With the entire Smith family involved in acting, having a place to enjoy what they are all passionate about would undoubtedly be a necessity. Now, the average cost in the United States for a home cinema should be between $10,000 to about $60,000. In some other cases where the cinema is set up with more luxury than necessary, such a cinema's cost could go up to a couple of hundreds of thousands, if not edging slowly to millions. Hold on, there's something else. You probably remember the intro to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith coming across a problem on a basketball court? Well, Smith also shares a love of the sport so much that he also has his very own outside basketball court in Calabasas. You should have guessed how much it would cost to have a standard NBA-sized court installed in your home. Yup, it costs over $46,000. Nonetheless, if you're interested in having something smaller, you could be looking at throwing around $36,000 into the project. Okay, so you wonder if that's the least amount you would have to spend to have a basketball court installed. The answer is no. Most installations vary between $11,000 to $76,000, depending on the size and material of choice. Some other features that would attract you to this compound are the meditation lounge that has a swimming pool and a tennis court. And just to prove that this property is almost a country worthy of having a zip code of its own, there's also a lake with an island. There is also a gazebo for the Smiths. Will even said at some point that he has had to make some of the toughest decisions of his life while looking over the view from the gazebo. So, this part of the property holds a significant memory for Will. Just beyond the Calabasas compound, the Smiths have managed to buy a good number of large homes together. One of the very first homes the Smiths purchased was in 1998, when they bought over an 8,000 square foot mansion in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, for over $930,000. A few years later after this purchase, they bought the Calabasas compound in 2003. And that's it on Will Smith's Calabasas compound. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and let us know in the comments what you think about this property. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so that you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. See you in the next video.